What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of GG Gaming. I'm your host, Andrew, and with me I have two co-hosts, Alpha Stoutland.
What's up, guys?
And PapaGenos.
Hey, everybody, what's up?
Today is Thursday, March 12th, and we have some stuff to talk about because we haven't talked to each other in quite some time. When was the last time you were on, PapaGenos?
I don't know. I mean, I moved my whole apartment and everything kind of at the beginning of this year, but I feel like it's been even long. I feel like it might have even been like November or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's been a while. Yeah. It's been quite a few months.
Did you take part in our top 5 games of the year last year?
I believe I did. I believe that was probably the last thing we did, was talk about our favorite games of the year. So maybe that was December. Maybe it was December we last did something.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if you came in after we had already done that and just told us your top really quickly, or if you actually partook in that.
I actually think he actually did it the next week afterwards because all 4 of us were able to do it except Brandon, and then he came the next week and you were like, "Hey, what's your top 5?" And so you took your segment for that. So
yeah, you know what? That sounds familiar to me. Actually.
Probably your last,
because we had Nint and Dan on at the same time. I do remember that. So
yeah, I think your last convo with us was in Janual. Wow.
Yeah, okay. All right.
I think mine's been since December, so.
Oh my god. Well, what have you guys
been 3,000 years.
Know who wants to go first? I mean, well, PapaGenos, you said you already started by saying you moved. So, anything else been going on?
Not too much. I mean, that's kind of been something I've been trying to work on here for a while. Ever since really starting my channel and stuff like that on YouTube, I wanted to be able to get its own room for it, like a filming room, a space to really do all that. So that's kind of been a goal for a while here. I started a new job back in September, and part of that was to save up money to try to move out, get on my own apartment without any roommates or anything like that. So it's finally come to fruition in the last month here. So it's been pretty awesome. Really happy about finally kind of having that space and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much been my focus. It's pretty major moving everything, so that's pretty much been my focus the last month here.
Nice. I've seen some of your. I've seen you've uploaded some videos here and there. But there's really been kind of a drought of not only Smash info but Nintendo info.
Info in general, right? Nintendo, yeah.
But before we really get into that, how about you, Alpha? What have you been up to the past few months? A couple of months.
Well, of course, obviously life stuff, just staying busy with that. I really have not been playing many games. We actually were talking about this, Drew and I were talking about this briefly before the episode started. Pokemon Sword really has not been on my radar for a game I really want to play a lot. I am super hyped about Animal Crossing New Horizons next week. That is going to be amazing. So yeah. I cannot wait to try that out. My first Animal Crossing game ever, and I'm super stoked. I have picked up my copy of Double Cross again. I bought that game several months back and started it and just stopped playing it, never picked it back up. I got kind of bored with it. It is actually by 13 AM Games. It's the same company that does Runbow, and so it's kind of like a little platformer / puzzle game, and it's pretty fun. It's about a little girl, not little girl, but like teenage girl, and she joins this association called Rift, and they're trying to figure out who this villain is that's trying to cause. It's hard to explain because, like I said, I jumped back in about a third of the way through the story, and so it's kind of like I'm trying to play catch up in my mind. And so she's got a rogue version of herself from another Earth, and there's just lots of portals and world travel and stuff. So it's kind of like, I don't know, like Portal, Kingdom Hearts. I guess. I mean, you hop between worlds, kind of like Kingdom Hearts, but you also use slow motion and teleporting and stuff like Portal, I guess. So it's a neat little game, but I'm having fun with it now that I'm actually getting more into it, and the game's actually getting really tough now at some points. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. But other than that, I really have not been playing many games. Been grinding out some hours on Disney Emoji Blitz and stuff like that. But for the most part, not a lot of stuff going on. But I'm staying busy. I'm trying to get back into the swing of getting videos up regularly, and I still, life and stuff takes away from that. But I definitely wanted to try and get back together with you guys and record something because it has been way too long, and it is good to be back. So hopefully I have some videos up soon.
Yeah, I'm actually interested in learning more about Double Cross now.
It's a neat little game.
And now, PapaGenos, did you play Pokemon Sword or Shield yet?
I have. I still haven't beaten it. It's really weird. It just didn't suck me in for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. Like, I don't have anything, super negative to say about it. I don't know if I have to be in like the right mood, I guess, to play a Pokemon game, and I just haven't been. I played a little bit of it. Got probably about halfway through the game. But I really need to sit down and like actually beat that one. I kind of feel like I might do it like this weekend, honestly, because I know once Animal Crossing comes out, that's probably going to be like my go-to Switch game for a while. So I'd like to get through Pokemon before then. I did transfer all my Pokemon from my old games up into home, so I have that, which was
really. Did you buy the membership thing?
So I did pay for home. I did pay for it, yeah. And I had to pay for bank as well again. So there's definitely a lot of stacking payments, which I'm not super happy about with Pokemon. But that's where all my like competitive stuff. Like I used to play competitive Pokemon back during like X and Y. So I wanted to move all my guys up from that forward. Even though like certain attacks can't go forward, certain Pokemon obviously can't go forward yet. Just kind of in anticipation of when the DLC comes out, and hopefully I can put together more of a finalized like competitive team. I just wanted to move everything forward. So I did get home, did move everything. That's probably the most Pokemon I've done had to do with Pokemon Home than actually beating Sword and Shield. But I should just buckle down and beat it. I mean, it's not like a hard game or anything. It's just I have to actually sit down and want to play it and want to beat it, and I haven't yet.
Yeah, how far did you make it?
Oh, I haven't played in weeks, so I'm trying to remember where I was last. I think I probably have maybe 4 badges or something like that. Again, I feel like I'm only like halfway through the game, something like that.
I just got a text from you asking if I see you on Skype. I'm assuming that was delayed.
That was delayed, yes. Yeah, okay. That was delayed.
I just wanted to make sure. But yeah, did you? Sorry, I got distracted from the delayed text. Did you get all the badges? Did you say? How many badges did you get?
I think 3 or 4. I'd have to turn it on and look, because again, I haven't actually played it in quite a few weeks here.
Very underwhelmed with this game. There's things I liked, but mostly things I was disappointed in.
Yeah, exactly how you feel.
Yeah, I'm not super disappointed in it, but I definitely just feel like it's just another Pokemon game, and I played so many of them that it just didn't pull me in. It didn't make me go wow, I really want to play this one. It was just kind of oh, if I feel like playing through a Pokemon game again, here's another one.
I think the term is called one and done, and that's what it felt like. I was just I'm done with the game. I finished it. I beat it.
The weirdest thing is I have friends who are I mean, I don't want to rate everybody's how into Pokemon they are, but I feel like I'm a very into Pokemon person generally, at least throughout my life. I've been kind of one of the, oh, he's a Pokemon guy, ask him any Pokemon questions, he probably knows it. But I have friends who seem like they're less into Pokemon than me, and they beat the game a while back, and I haven't. So, I don't know, it feels weird. It feels really weird to me.
Did they like it?
Yeah, they thought it was okay and stuff, but they kind of agreed with me that it did just feel
Well, that was just it. It just felt okay.
Yeah, it felt okay. It was another Pokemon game, which is fine, but
it definitely is a different experience, because usually after I beat the game, it's okay, now I get to race some competitive mons, I get to shiny hunt and stuff, and of a lot of my time, especially in stuff like Ultra Sun and Moon, I did a lot of shiny hunting, and I have done some in this game. Obviously, I went ahead and got my shiny charm, and I'll check the raids every day just to make sure one of them is not shiny, and I miss it because I'd be an idiot if I did that. Especially since it saves the entire day. Huh?
Are there guaranteed shinies?
If they are shiny in the den, they stay like that the whole day until the den's reset.
Okay, so you have a lot of chance.
Yep, so I just want to at least check and see if it's a shiny. But yeah, so it's cool that you can actually go back and fight it if you defeat it or it kicks your butt and you have to go back. So I do like that aspect. But really, I have not been super motivated. I'm on and off hunting Milcery because I want to get all 7 shiny Alchemy and stuff like that.
Isn't it Milcery or something?
It's either Milcery, Milcery, or Milcury. I don't know.
I think it's Milcery because it's milky. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And creamy.
But then it's also Milk Sorcery and then Alchemy.
That's true.
Alchemy.
Oh, that's true, alchemy.
It could be either. It's like Arceus, Arceus, Arceus,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, because I think Alchemy is one of my favorite Pokemon from this gen. She's adorable and just actually really good, and just love the fact that there's 70 different forms, counting the shinies. I love that. But yeah, definitely, I have to agree with y'all. There's definitely points to this game that I love. To me, Camp is easily one of the highlights because it puts the Pokemon's personality on full display in the way the battles do not at all.
I just didn't care about camp. I was just like, I don't
really?
feel like playing ball. I mean, let's just go with the story. Like, I just wanted to continue the story, which was very lacking. So
I know.
I just felt like I was just moving along.
Yeah,
And
it
I know the games have always been linear, but this one just felt the most linear.
Yeah, and
I don't know
especially
why.
for it being the first, like, big. I mean, I know Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was the first Switch game, but that was just a rehashed remake, and I just thought it was. That's honestly the first Pokemon game I thought of selling. That should tell you how little I think of it. But it's
Really?
just stupid.
I liked it
It's
way more than Sword
stupid
and Shield.
easy. I mean, it looks pretty, and some of the animations are cool, like when you're riding on Haunter and stuff like that, and you're just Pokemon are falling behind you. Why was that not in Sword and Shield? It was in Let's Go. Okay, but
Yeah.
it just I mean, Let's Go was such a disappointment, but Sword and Shield, it was like, okay, this is gonna be the big, awesome, open world Pokemon game, and it's just like, nope. It's even more boring than Sword and Sun and.
I heard a story, or not necessarily a story, but I heard that like the people who worked on the game were like very disappointed when before the game came out and people were like bashing on it, and like that makes me a little upset because it sounds like some of them really tried, but like whoever made some of the decisions at the top, like those are the people to.
I started to say, you
said it,
can't
you
blame
know?
the people in the development department because it's Junichi Masuda and Omori and all those guys in the top tiers of the Pokemon Company, and the actual Pokemon Company, not just Game Freak, is the one that pulls the strings, and they really need to be diverting more money into the games instead of the other stuff because the games really need that TLC and that time and money and resources.
Like financially, there's like no reason to because they could just keep pumping out crap if they wanted to. Not that Sword and Shield was crap. Like it was fine. It just wasn't great. But like it made so much money that they really don't have any incentive to make good Pokemon games.
And
anymore.
that's what makes me hate it so much. It's like so many people have been talking about this. It's like it doesn't matter what they do. It's Pokemon, so it will sell.
Maybe,
and I hate that mindset.
Maybe because I got it because I wanted to see the newest Pokemon experience, but maybe what can decide it is the sales of the DLC. Like people who might have tried it and were like, all right, whatever, probably won't be buying the DLC, you know? So maybe there'll be less DLC sales, or well, there will be less DLC sales naturally, but I'm wondering if there will be significantly less DLC sales than game sales, and I'm wondering if they're going to look at that at all and be like, oh, why did the DLC not sell as much?
Yeah, and I mean, I'll be honest, I'm going to buy the DLC, so I mean,
yeah,
I want all the legendary birds and the new Reggies and all that stuff. I mean, yeah, I can get it through trade, but it's like I want to actually raise these guys myself. I mean, I can get it through a trade and be like, oh, hey, have it back. But I mean, I hate to spend $30 for Pokemon we've already had in the past that now we're behind a paywall technically, not technically, because you can get them through trade, but at the same time, other people have to buy it in order to get them, and I just don't like the way
I don't like the GTS, how you're allowed to ask for something in a trade that's not allowed to be traded. Like, what's the point? Because I go on and like I have some extras of Pokemon that I'm willing to trade, and I needed I think it was Zacian, the one with the shield. So I went on and someone asked for, I don't remember what it was because this was probably a few months ago, but somebody asked for a Pokemon. I'm like, oh, I could trade that, especially because I don't have a Zacian, and I don't have, well, I didn't play Shield. I have it because of the dual pack. But she's like, I go to trade it, and it's like, you can't trade this. And I'm like, then why are you allowed to ask for it? Mm-hmm. It's just stupid. It's been like that in the older games, and it's something that, it's like people just do it because they want to say, hey, I have this.
Yeah.
That's what it feels
I'll
like.
trade you this shiny Groudon for a level 5 Kyurem.
Yeah.
It's like, I can't.
Yeah.
Or maybe they even realize that they can't get traded it, and they just like, you know, are trying to get rid of whatever they're trying to get, you know, the Pokemon they think they're going to be able to get, but they can't. And it's like,
yeah,
I don't know. It's
what's
poor
the point?
planning.
Yeah.
Like that's something that they need to fix.
And I do feel like this game, like you guys touched upon, it is like more linear than the older Pokemon games in some way, even though it has an open world like area to it, and that's bizarre to me. But that is how the main story felt. I felt like I was just going to the next place to beat the gym, and then just going to the next place to beat the gym, and just it was really routine, really, you know, something I'd done tried and true a million times before with Pokemon.
And there's so many points in the story where it's like, oh, this really cool thing is happening, but you can't do that because you're a child. Go play in the gym. I hate that. It's just like, boy, I have conquered criminal organizations. I have literally saved the universe in the Sinnoh region. Let me help y'all take these losers down, because I don't know. It felt so much more like you were just some little peon kid going through the region trying to beat all the Pokemans, and I did not like this game at all. And this is coming from someone who loves Sun and Moon. I loved Sun and Moon. They were such good games to me. And then this just felt so blah. I want to save all this for my actual full, official review, but if you guys didn't tell me now, I'm pretty disappointed with these games.
Yeah.
And this is coming from a lifelong Pokemon fan, and it hurts me to see Game Freak acting like EA and Activision, and I don't like it at all.
I'm one of the people too, I'm definitely going to buy the DLC and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just feel like such a sucker because I'm definitely going to do it because I'm such a Pokemon fan. That's just going to give them money to keep doing this, and I get that, and it's just, I don't know. Hopefully the DLC, I just keep having hope that the next thing will be decent, and the DLC at least it is open. It looks like it's going to be entirely open world, so maybe that'll be cool. I don't know.
Every Pokemon game I get makes me feel like the previous one wasn't as bad as I thought it was.
That's probably not a good feeling.
Yeah.
No, I remember when Sun and Moon came out, I was like, this is alright. I miss gyms and stuff. But then after playing Sword and Shield, I was like, man, Sun and Moon was pretty good.
Yeah. I liked Sun and Moon when I was playing Sun and Moon. That whole scene with Lusamine fusing with Nihilego, I was like, what? My mind was blown. I loved the whole thing, man. And to this day, Pokemon Fire Red is still my favorite Pokemon game. It's still where it all started. Maybe it's just the nostalgia, but man, just the sprite work and the attack animations and the overworld, it's just beautiful game. I'll still love it to this day.
Yeah, I can't believe how much. I can't believe how much stuff in Sword and Shield are like attack animations just feel, like they did a shoddy job.
So lifeless.
Yeah, not putting all the Pokemon in the game. Just there's so many things that you're just like, come on, guys, really? This is
it's
your
y'all are a
big,
multi-billion-dollar company. Y'all have plenty of money to throw around. It's you could add or
just wait a year. Just wait a year and give us a real experience. Don't dish it out just to put a Pokemon game out every year. Maybe don't do Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. Maybe don't do DLC for this game. Maybe take 3 years and give us a big open world Switch Pokemon game.
I don't think they would make more money. They would just waste more money, unfortunately.
The thing is, I think what's going to happen, they would probably lose money not putting out a game every year. But what's going to happen is they're going to slowly start to lose, their fans. The fan base is going to slowly start to not trust them.
Every Pokemon game is someone's first Pokemon game.
Right.
So, people are still going to eat it up.
But you think about how many people were playing Sword and Shield after coming back after a long time away from Pokemon, kind of like Arlo was, or being new to the series, like you said, and then playing it and being like, wow, Pokemon's this mediocre?
Right.
And it just turns them off from the series completely, and I don't want that to happen.
I really think that taking out a bunch of Pokemon hurt it, because there was because the replay value went way down because there was no incentive to make some of your favorite teams. That was always aside from the whole gotta catch 'em all thing, it was the post game has always been about being competitive, and having everything at your disposal. So it's like everything I've had up until now is at my disposal.
Yep.
But this is the first game where it's like, no, you can't. So it's like, you mean I can't use, my favorite team anymore?
Yeah.
Like, it's the first game where you're not allowed to, like, use your original strategies and teams. I don't know how to explain
no starter except these regional starters and Charizard.
Yeah.
At least to start out with. And that's like, I love Charizard. I dearly love Charizard. It is easily my second favorite Pokemon next to Stoutland. But can we please chill with all the love for Charizard, Mewtwo, Lucario, and all? I mean, and they're great Pokemon. They're super popular. I'm shocked Greninja's not in this game just because it's Greninja. I am shocked that they actually left it out. But it's like, let other Pokemon have a chance. My boy Stoutland's nowhere to be found in this game. And not even guaranteed to be in the DLC.
Based on the UK. Doesn't make any sense.
And I was like, please have a Galarian form with like a furry top hat or something and like a fancy mustache.
Totally
I love that.
How about not at all?
I don't understand too, like, how you could take such a big step back and then the game not feel like, okay, they took this huge step back, not putting all the Pokemon back in, but it's justified because of what they did with the game. Like honestly, if they give us like basically Kanto, like 151 Pokemon or whatever, original Pokemon, but it feels like you're playing Breath of the Wild. You're like really hunting them in the forest, and you're going to any gym in any order. If they really given us that experience, it would have been like, okay, I understand why you cut all the Pokemon, but it's not what we got at all. So it just feels like a step back.
Or it could have at least been like Unova, where the entire game, the entire main story, it's like, these are all brand new Pokemon. You've never seen any of them before in your life. It's a totally brand new experience. And then once you beat the game and you do the post game, then you can transfer all your old Pokemon up and encounter more old Pokemon in this region. I loved that about Unova, besides obviously the amazing story and the characters, but just the fact that it was like a completely brand new experience, completely new Pokemon, a surprise around every corner. Like, whoa, who's that Pokemon? A sentient snowflake? A living garbage bag? Stalagmite rock monster? I mean, it just, my boy Stoutland, there was so much stuff. And then of course you look at Sun and Moon, they had walking and running animations for every single Pokemon to follow behind you. They didn't use them. Let's go Eevee and Pikachu. They had running animations and walking animations and Pokemon following you in literally the same generation of Pokemon on the same exact system, and they couldn't do that in Sword and Shield.
It's bizarre.
Please, come on.
Run.
Look at how hard
you fit 700 and
works
some
on Smash Bros. And it's like Pokemon probably makes more money than Smash Bros. And it's just like, how much can we skimp out on?
Yeah, it's unbelievable. And I really do think it's extremely short-sighted, because what's going to happen is now you have, Let's Go Pikachu, you have Sword and Shield, and whatever they do next after the DLC and stuff like that, and it's just going to be like these new players who haven't played old Pokemon games are going to play this and just be like, oh, Pokemon, like you said, it's just a mediocre experience. Yep. It's not like when Gold and Silver, when I beat it and was like, oh my god, Red and Blue are in the game, like Kanto is just in here. Or when you beat, Unova, and it's like, oh man, all the old Pokemon come back. I don't have that like blowing my mind, every Pokemon can follow me. Like, it's not going to have that like, wow, that this blew me away experience. It's instead going to be less than every other game out there on the market. And that just like, it's just going to sour everybody's opinion of what a Pokemon game is. And they're going to have to, if they do like one more bad Pokemon game, or I don't know if bad's the right word, one more mediocre Pokemon game, they really going to have to do something incredible just to pull even the fans that would buy it anyway back in. And that's going to happen if they keep doing this. So I hope they stop looking at this so short-sightedly and realize that, a AAA Pokemon game has to come out at some point here. You can't just keep going.
And I don't know if it's true or not, or if it was speculation, but that it's possible that Game Freak initially intended to put a lot more into it and realized that they were planning too much, or more than they actually had, maybe, and significantly cut back, which would be like, okay, if the next Pokemon experience meets that standard. But I feel like it's not.
And part of the big problem is they are not willing to ask for outside help. to help with the mainline games. It's like, yeah, you guys can do all the spinoffs you want, but this is ours and you can't touch it. And it's just, they need all the help they can get because they're still under the Nintendo umbrella, and you put out amazing games like Super Mario Odyssey, Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, and so many other games that are these big, amazing experiences full of life and passion. Luigi's Mansion 3, ARMS, Splatoon, just so many games we can list off, and then there's Pokemon over in the corner like, I got Pokemans, and it's just, I hate it because right now as it sits, now I'm trying to be funny because I really am upset about this. I'm trying to add some humor because I'm happy cheery guy. It's just this honestly right now is my last Pokemon game, my last mainline Pokemon game until further notice, because I hate the way this series is going. And Brandon, I'm sure you can relate to this. One bad entry. Look at Fallout 76. And how awfully that game was shipped out. Glitches and all kinds of game-breaking things. And Activision just let it out because, no, it was Bethesda. That's right. Sorry. Bethesda. Yeah. They were just like, well, we'll make money off of it, so let's put it out there. And all the big hardcore Fallout fans, because I remember you talking about this about a year ago when it released and you tried it out. It was just such an underwhelming presentation of, especially compared to what the series used to be. And I look at Pokemon, and it's going that same direction, and I hate it, especially with it being the biggest media franchise on the planet, bigger than anything Disney has crapped out, bigger than Hello Kitty, Winnie the Pooh, Mickey Mouse, the Disney Princess. It's bigger than Frozen, y'all. It's bigger than Frozen.
Isn't it like the number one?
It is the number one media franchise, and it's just absurd.
Anything.
It's bigger than Mario. How is it like? Yes. And it's bigger than Mario, bigger than Zelda, bigger than Smash, bigger than all those games you listed on the Switch. Which arguably the Switch titles for those games are some of the best in the series. Like I think everybody's been saying that about Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Smash Brothers Ultimate, Splatoon 2, even though there's only 1 and 2. But like people have been saying Luigi's Mansion 3, you could argue is the best in the series. Like people have been arguing these games are great and stuff like that. And then Pokemon Sword and Shield, not even close to being anyone's top Pokemon game. Like, I mean, maybe somebody out there, but like not generally.
You mentioned,
so it's sad to see.
You mentioned the camp before, and I feel like they put a lot of effort into animations for the Pokemon camp, but I honestly think it would have been a better idea to take out the camp and focus on animations for more Pokemon.
And if the animation, and that's like, if the animations for the attacks would have been like super lifelike, and like Charizard shooting fire out of its mouth and not its forehead, or Blastoise shooting water out of his cannons and not his forehead, or Ivysaur shooting a solar beam out of its petals and not its forehead. It's just simple things like that actually make sense, because even in like the Gigantamax and Dynamax forms, they're sitting there like kicking fireballs and stuff, and it just makes no sense. And I hate it because there's so many things people have shown that you can easily put it like, and they've done it in the past in like Battle Revolution. Charizard breathes fire from his mouth. Blastoise shoots water from his cannons, and it's just simple little things like that. It's like, guys, he has cannons on his back for a reason. And when Mega Blastoise Mega evolves in X and Y and onward, up until Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield, where he gets axed, obviously, he still doesn't use his arm cannons. He's got 3, and he still doesn't use them all. And it's just simple stuff like that. It's like, guys, this makes sense. It's lore. It's canon. Why is it not in the animations? Why is it not evident in this Pokemon's personality? And that's one big thing that I think Camp, that's the reason I loved Camp so much, because you chuck a ball and Togepi comes waddling back towards you with it stuck on its head. And just little things like that. And then you get in the game, in the actual battles, where you're spending the majority of your time. And like you said, Camp is kind of just one of those things you do on the side as a little
secondary feature.
Exactly. Yeah. It's secondary. It's not even the main thing.
Priority.
And so the battling is lifeless and bare bones and super bland and boring, and it's just stupid, simple animations for the most part. There are some good ones. Obviously, the Behemoth Blade and Behemoth Bash are amazing, but they are few and far between, because most are just simple little hops and like Double Kick. Perfect example. Double, when it uses Headbutt, turns around and kicks. And then when it uses Double Kick, it hops in place. What the heck?
Makes no sense.
And like Scorbunny runs up and attacks the opponent with Flame Charge, but then hops in place with Double Kick. It makes no sense. Okay, I'm done.
And how does that falter? Like, how do they falter on adding animations into the game when they're cutting Pokemon again? Like,
Yeah.
I can allow the cuts to, like, I can allow the smaller decks and stuff like that if the game was so well polished and so well put together. It was like, wow, it really shows why they did it this way. It really shows that they could only work on, so much of the game here, but what they gave us was amazing. And instead, it's like, no, it's less than what it used to be.
And not only
how
that,
is that okay? Like,
not only
some
that, but they
Pokemon
tell us
actually
that
lost
they're
animations.
Never gonna put Pokemon
Yeah.
in the old Pokemon in again. That's like every Pokemon game from this point on is gonna be missing Pokemon.
yeah. That's just not okay. It's not acceptable for the biggest media franchise in the world, which is first and foremost a video game.
Yeah.
Exactly. And like I just said, some Pokemon lost animations. Like Charizard had like 4 or 5 in X and Y and Sun and Moon and all that in the 3DS games. But then he lost 2 or 3 of them. Like there was one where he went and swung his tail. There were a couple different ones where he slashed and stuff, and they scrapped a couple of them and kept just the physical attack and the special attack. And it doesn't matter what the attack is, they always use that same animation for either one. And there's Pokemon like Ditto who just morph in place, or Solrock who spins in place, and it's just, why? It's just so lifeless, and I hate it because part of the reason the anime, I think, does so well, especially with the kids, is it shows the Pokemon's personality on full display. If they're sneaky, if they're conniving, if they're sweet, if they're a crybaby, if they're malevolent, if they're benevolent. It's just, there's so many things that show up in the anime. If a Weavile's like slashing trees and jumping around and causing mischief, it's like, oh, hey, it's a sneaky little weasel. That makes sense. If you see Sobble sitting there bawling its eyes out, it's because it's a big fat crybaby lizard. That makes sense. And then you get in the game and Sobble just sits there and bobs back and forth, not a tear in its eye, and it's like, it doesn't even, I hate it. I really do, because the Pokemon roster is so expansive and so unique, and there's so many personalities on display, and you don't see any of that in battle. And I hope you get my point. I'm not just ranting. It's just
what's really sad to me too is that, like, I've been playing Pokemon since Red and Blue, for the original Game Boy came out, and that game, there was so much I wished or like imagined that was happening with that game, kind of like what you're talking about. Like, I'd watch the anime and then I'd play the game, and yeah, it's just a lifeless sprite, but I thought about it as like, this is my partner Pokemon. It has this kind of personality. I wanted to learn more and more about these Pokemon. That's why I was buying the cards. That's why I was buying watching the show and stuff like that, to see what they were like in motion, see what different artwork looked like for them and stuff, just get this feel for this creature and stuff. That was what made, that was so appealing. And now we have the technology where you can really show all that emotion, all that personality, all that stuff in the Pokemon, and any other game would be doing it. Pokemon is still basically giving us what it gave us with Red and Blue. They won't go forward with a little bit here and there, but like, they 100%. Really should. When they're walking around in the wild, they should be acting like they do in the wild. When you capture them, when you have them as your buddy, like, they should react. They should have personality. They should attack with their actual attacks. Like, all that stuff needs to be in there, should be in there. And if you had thought up Pokemon yesterday and brought it to Nintendo, and Nintendo greenlighted it to, yes, let's make a game out of this, you would put all that stuff in that game. It is only because it has existed for as long as it has that they don't do what the basic idea of Pokemon is. How you would implement that game today, you would add all that stuff in.
And I still think all of that comes second to actually having all the Pokemon in. I'd rather have, like, every Pokemon lacking personality. Sorry, I'm moving around on the chair. I'd rather have every Pokemon lacking personality versus, like, not all the Pokemon with some personality. Like, I'd rather actually have them all.
The fact is, though, we should get either or. Either there should be absolutely everything, and Game Freaks has the excuse of there's just so much at this point, we can only, do this type of game. Or if they're going to cut it, they need to polish the game with all those little, slice of life features added in. But instead, we got it cut without all the slice of life features. So it's just like, what are you guys doing?
Exactly. Yeah. And I hate it because you see, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but one of the more recent Pokemon Go trailers where they revamped the buddy system, where it shows this little boy with his Squirtle plush, and he's just carrying that thing around, and he loves it to death. He gets jam on its mouth, and his mom throws it in the washing machine, and it's like, oh, it's all happy. And then he's a grown-up guy, and he's with his Squirtle in Pokemon Go, and it's actually walking with him in the real world, and he's sitting there feeding it berries. I'm like, I actually had tears in my eyes, man. I was just like, oh my gosh, this is so sweet. And it's like, You put that much heart and that much soul. You bring Pokemon to life in a commercial, and then you get to the game, and it's like, They have no personality. They have no life. And it's just, I hate it because you see what Pokemon could be game-wise. You look at the Pokemon TCG commercials. One of the more recent ones, I think it was the tag team segments of the card game. And they had the commercial with like Machamp and Lucario and Snorlax and Eevee. And they had so much humor. Like Eevee is sitting there like prepared to attack Zekrom and Pikachu. And then he looks back and Snorlax is asleep and he's like, whatever, and jumps off his stomach and attacks them. It's just, there's the Machamp and Marshadow one where Machamp like punches the ground and Marshadow looks down and he's like, you just split the ground, you idiot, and he falls down. It's like, just simple stuff like that. It's just, I would love to see that in the games. I know that's a big tall order, but they did it for Luigi's Mansion 3, for Mario Odyssey, for Breath of the Wild.
It doesn't sound like that big of an order for the biggest media franchise.
Exactly. When you look at what Pokemon actually is, it's the biggest media franchise, bigger than all of Nintendo's other games. Like, it should have all of that in that game. When you do Earthquake in the game and another Pokemon's going to like get hurt by it, they should like notice. Like, that should be, a cool thing. I mean, if you, again, pull out Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, all the little interaction things, all the little reactions to items and sometimes things that people aren't even going to play with in that game that are in there. Like, there's so much love in that game. So much detail. Like, Pokemon should be at that level, and it's not. It's really sad.
I remember there was like Master of Hyrule and all those guys that do all the Smash Attack compilations and all that stuff. When Joker came out, whenever you attack someone with Aha or Aegon, when they get hit with that cursed fire, their expression on their face changes. And it's like they didn't have to do that, but they did.
But they added it. Yeah.
Exactly. It's like they didn't have to, but they did. Why? Because it's a cute little feature, and it adds more personality to the characters. And like someone has a grimace, the ice climbers are frowning and stuff like that. It's just simple stuff like that. It's just like, why not do it? Why not put your best foot forward? Why not put all of your effort into it so you can truly be proud of what you have created? It's just, I hate the scrimp and scrape mindset just to save every penny and pinch every penny, because they make bank with every single game. They have plenty of resources where they could source some money into the games. Just like they do the merchandise, just like they do the card game, the anime, whatever. The games deserve the same amount of TLC.
And I remember when Gold and Silver came out and just being blown away by everything that game did. And it was right in the height of like Pokemania and everything. And they could have just coasted on it. They could have just coasted, but they didn't. They put out a really great game. I think Nintendo stepped in. I think Iwata specifically stepped in to make that game great. And it's like, they knew at that time it was like Pokemania is happening. Everyone's going nuts for this. We have to make this game great. And I just really wish Pokemon would feel that again. And maybe after this one, maybe after all the pressure from the fans and stuff, maybe they'll finally be like, okay, we can't coast. We have to put out, a solid game. But
and you think about how revolutionary Gold and Silver was for the series. It introduced breeding, it introduced the genders, it introduced shiny Pokemon, it introduced female characters. There was so much that Gen 2 did for the series. It's like, okay, it has really cemented this series as a juggernaut. And like you said, it's a shame to see how far it's come in the wrong direction. I feel like it really peaked at Gen 5 because we had a mature story, well fleshed out characters, enigmatic, really actually evil villains that seemed like they were possibly right in the right circumstance, but then we get to Sword and Shield and it's literally just a bunch of loud, obnoxious punk kids who are not threatening at all. And Team Skull was great. I love Team Skull because they broke the fourth wall. They weren't really threatening at all. And Guzma was great. But at the same time, when you compare Skull to Yell, there's no comparison. Yell was so lame, and there are so few battles you interact with them on. It's just like, why are they here? They
also can't keep
so useless.
Like, Skull was funny, but like you can't keep doing funny. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, you have to do something different the next time. And I feel like they're a little afraid to do that now, and that's upsetting, because if the next team is once again like a joke, it's just going to be like, all right, so this is how the teams are from now on. And
dude, you think about how sinister the past villains have been. I mean, Team Rocket was just like a mob, was just like it was the mafia for Kanto pretty much. And then you get to Gen 3 and you got people literally trying to flood the earth and cause a great extinction and drought. You go to Gen 4, Cyrus is it Cyrus? Cyrus, yes.
I think
However you pronounce it, yeah.
Cyrus, yeah. Trying to remake the entire world in his image and control the universe. Then you get to Gen 5, you got basically PETA on steroids where like, no, Pokemon are our friends, but then the villain is actually like, no, Pokemon are our tools, and I will use them at any cost to whoop your tail. And in Gen 5, also in Black and White 2, gets us straight up, almost kills you with Kyurem. I mean, just like Sanders trying to destroy the world, and just you see these villains, and then Team Yell's like, "I mate, we're gonna cheer on Marnie," and it's just it's so lame, and it's just I hate it. I really do.
And there was
like, even Guzma's not threatening.
And every team has had admins except Yell.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Like even Skull had one admin.
Yeah,
like
Plumeria and Guzma. Yeah, Plumeria was great too. Team Skull was so great.
Yell was just I don't even remember his name. I don't even remember his name. But I mean, but like it was just the story was not interesting. Like nothing was interesting about that game.
So you're really not missing much, Brandon. Besides, actually no. At the very end, before you fight the League, there's some really cool stuff that goes down. But besides that, the majority.
Yeah, but it's over in like a second.
Very true. Very.
I mean,
true.
I basically just feel like I just want to beat it just to have it beaten so I can play the DLC and get into the team building and checking the raids every day and stuff like that. But it literally feels like a chore, and it feels like I just need to kind of have a couple days to I've been moving, so I haven't really had too much free time. But I feel like I just need a couple days to myself to just sit down and be like, all right, buckle down and beat Pokemon. But I'm not excited to do it, and that's sad.
That's how
it feels like a chore. Yeah.
Yeah. I felt about the Dynamax raids. It was too difficult to actually do and just to come across them. I was like, I'm done.
I would have loved it more if you could choose NPCs from the game, the various gym leaders and Marnie and Hop and other characters. But no, you get stuck with these crappy NPCs who spam cosmic power, and then the very next turn their stats are reset. It's so stupid, and all of the NPCs are trash. And then if you go online, I don't know. I don't want to sound like I'm just ranting, but there's so many missed opportunities in these games. The YCOM is absolute trash.
What was the YCOM? I don't even remember.
It's the little where you connect to the internet, where it's supposed to show you where max raids that you can join, and even that's.
Why can't you walk around with your buddy and battle each other and and trade that way? It's so I've tried to do it before, and you can see them. But you can't I should be able to walk up to them, talk to them, and it's do battle trade. It's so.
I miss the PSS so
weird.
much. I miss the PSS so much.
It's always 2 steps back, 1 step forward with them. I feel with Pokemon, yes. They always get rid of something great and then add a little something cool, but it's not returning, and then maybe they'll return something from a couple gens ago, but not everything's coming back, and it's come on, figure out what works, figure out what the fans want, keep that, get rid of the bad stuff. And we should be at a certain point here where I pretty much think I know what every fan if you did what's the trading supposed to be what's the battling supposed to be should Pokemon be following you, should be able to customize your trainer, should all these things I know what the fans want. Why don't they always check the boxes correctly with the new entry? I
know.
Get it.
I don't think there's anybody in the world who would not love their Pokemon following behind you. I feel that is just so cool. Get to ride on your Onix, get to ride bareback on your Stoutland or Arcanine. You get to be followed around by your Gengar, your Alakazam. It just simple stuff like that, man. It just okay. I'll let you guys talk because I have talked way too much. I am sorry.
What's PSS?
Sorry. The player search system from X and Y. Oh, it was glorious. Oh, it's so good.
It was so easy. I love it.
Yeah,
It was playing the most competitive.
It looked good and it was easy to use.
You know what they should have done for the max raid battles? They should have kind of did the phone thing in Gen 2 where you can go around and basically register trainers in the region.
And kind of the battle tree too, where you can recruit Guzma, Cynthia, Wally, and all those guys.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Tree. Was that Sun and Moon, right? You could have
Yeah.
You could fight red and blue and stuff eventually.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely you should be able to recruit actual people from the game
yes.
to come help you on the raid battles. That'd be awesome.
And I hate it. One of my favorite characters in all of Pokemon is Looker, the spy back from Gen 4. And he has shown up in every single game since then. every generation since then, and the anime and stuff, and he's nowhere to be found in this game. So that's another reason I might not like it, because it's just like he didn't have to be in Gens 5, 6, and 7, but he was, and he actually fit there because he was doing research and stuff. And there's no old characters returning in this game, and there's just so many missed opportunities. And I don't think we have to bring back every old character for every new entry. I mean, like the Pokemon World Tournament in Black and White 2 was amazing, but it was because it was such a rare opportunity to get all of these legendary characters in one place, duking it out with each other and against each other. And I don't think we have to do that every single game, but it is nice to see, oh, hey, Cynthia's here. Oh, cool. Hey, there's Guzma on vacation, and just simple stuff like that. It just
I'd rather them build upon what they've already done right than try to constantly rip it all down, start from scratch, and then always end up coming short. Like, just build upon what people already liked.
Yeah, I've never understood that about Pokemon, and I've never really realized how much I hated it until this game, because they took out Zemus and Mega Evolution. And I would have been okay with Zemus being gone, honestly, but Megas, it's like, man, they reinvented the metagame, and you're just going to wipe them out. And then you say, well, we cut Pokemon for balance, and then you add back Landorus Therian. What is wrong with you? Okay, I'm going to stop. Again.
Not only should they, crap, I forgot what I was going to say.
On the Landorus thing, like, so much of it is obviously just excuses. Like, it's just not, it's not about, they didn't cut Pokemon to help out the metagame. Like, that's just an excuse. Like, at a certain point, I have to call them out. At a certain point, it's like...
They're just covering their butts at this point. That's all it is.
That's all it is.
We are lazy.
Do new animations for every Pokemon.
Put all of the time into it that we needed to, just so we could stay in line with the anime. Sorry, the game sucks. That's how it is. Buy it. It's how it seems right now. And I hate that. I really do, because, man, and I've seen people make the argument, well, when Gen 5 happened and they tried something new, everybody hated it. And so they tried to go back to all the Gen 1 pandering, but at the same time, you see how many people loved Gen 5 because it was so new and because it was so different. And it's like every game should be like that. It builds upon the past while also making a new experience, but also drawing from the past games and what made the past games so good in the first place. It's like Splatoon 2, it has new weapons and stuff, but it still has Callie and Marie. It has old characters, and it has old references to the old lore and stuff from the first game. And you just have to tie them all together, and I feel like Pokemon's not doing that anymore. It's not borrowing from the good from the past. It's just trying to reinvent the wheel every time, and every time you do, the tires just fall off 5 feet down the road.
Yeah.
I know I do not mean to take this much time up. I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry.
I was going to say, not only should they have kept the Megas in, but I want to see more Megas. Like, that's something they should continue to do. Especially for Pokemon that need it. Like, if you want to balance it, like, instead of taking away, why don't you add more?
Exactly. Yeah, Megas was such a good idea. Like, I just don't understand how Game Freaks can be so tone deaf to, like, what the fans like. Like, there's clear things that the fans like, clear things the fans don't like, and I don't understand how they don't understand what they should cut, what they shouldn't cut, and how they should move forward with the series. It just seems so obvious to me, but I don't know. For whatever reason, they can't seem to get it right.
I know.
Well, one thing I could say about the game that I liked was the music.
Music was good.
Music's always good. Yeah. I mean, I can't alter that.
I wasn't even too fond of like the designs of the Pokemon in this gen. Like, there's a couple that were okay.
I don't have anything against the designs. There's a decent amount of them I like, so that's. I feel like there was as many I like this gen as I do any other gen, so I'm happy with it.
That's definitely very. What is it? Objective when it's solely based on opinion.
Yeah, it's definitely an objective thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, subjective. Subjective is when it's opinion. Objective is when it's not opinion. It's like fact. I think.
Okay, gotcha.
Well,
that makes sense because it's subject depends on the subject.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, but designs have always been very much. It's like there's not many I do dislike. For years I just trashed on Garbodor, pun intended, and just was not a fan. But over the years I'm like, okay, it's actually not that bad. There's things I change about it, and then you look at Aromatisse, and it's like, what horrid eldritch abomination are you? It's just the simple, just designs are. And then I'm the guy that also likes Stonejourner and stuff like that. I love that big, goofy, clumsy Stonehenge. I love it. And of course,
there's too many. Like, there's not enough cool looking Pokemon. Like, there's usually a balance, and there's like cool Pokemon, there's silly Pokemon, but like this gen, there was like no cool.
There's a lot
Pokemon.
more goofy looking ones, yeah.
Yeah.
The cool ones were obviously like the legendaries, like Eternatus didn't even look like a Pokemon and stuff like that.
There was nothing you can have throughout your
That is a
journey.
good point. That's a really good point, Drew. That is a really good point.
One of the things I didn't like about the Pokemon is like there weren't really many that I wanted on my team because I wanted the cool ones, like the ones that spoke to me as like, that Pokemon is awesome looking. I want that on my team, and it just wasn't enough of them.
I'd say like not Stonejourner. It's goofy. I'd say the starters, Centiskorch, and stuff like that was definitely more like, whoa, that's cool.
Yeah, but when you can only have one of the three
Corviknight.
starters that cuts down 2 Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So it's like I couldn't have all three, so I had to look at what other cool Pokemon were there. So I had Inteleon, I always forget its name, the third form of the charcoal thing.
Colossal.
Yeah, Colossal. He was cool.
I really wasn't a
Toxtricity
fan
was
of
cool.
Colossal. Toxtricity is like one of the highlights of this gen too.
And I don't even remember the other 3 Pokemon I used. That's sad.
Ouch.
It's like, you didn't matter in my team.
Uh,
Hey,
I
I
mean, I
stuck
tried
with
to use
Double
them
the
all.
entire game. I'm happy. She was great. What did I call her? Oh, it was not Dubra. It was I forget what I call it. It was a funny punny name. Because I like doing those. But yeah, I definitely warmed up to a lot of the designs because at first I was kind of like, with some of them. But yeah, I mean, at first I wasn't a big fan of the Dragapult line's design, but they've warmed up to me. So
I thought they kind of looked dumb, but they are kind of
It's
starting.
definitely one I was very critical of at first, and I
Yeah.
definitely warmed up to him. And Pyro Ball is another one of those animations that is just amazing in this game. It's one of the few that definitely sticks out. But yeah, Inteleon's probably my favorite starter of the 3. But
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
that's just me.
In
they're all
certain
real-
artwork, he looks dumb. In certain artwork, he looks awesome.
Yeah, very true.
So, well, since we don't have much time left, and also because we've only been talking about Pokemon,
We'll talk
is
about
there any
something else. I'm
Smash
game to
stuff
stay
you-
for several more minutes. It's good.
Okay, well, we've been in a bit of a Nintendo dry spell, and people are expecting a Direct soon, and I wanted to know what you guys think about any Smash stuff, any Smash speculation, because that's always what we talk about.
Yeah, honestly, it's been such a drought, and I'm really not even sure if we do get a Direct here this month, if we'll get a Smash character or not. So, like, I'm honestly kind of blank on that whole front. I wish I had more to say on it, but it really, I don't, like, if we do get a Smash character in some upcoming Direct, I don't know who to guess on, and I'd sort of more think that we'll probably get a Direct without a Smash character reveal. I mean, maybe. But I'm just hopeful for a Direct itself right now more than anything. Just for any games.
Are we still leaning towards Crash being real? Or
No,
was
that was Mandycan. And Mandycan probably did the Twitter trick, which is that you basically post a bunch of posts without following anyone, and then you delete all the incorrect ones. So you post like, Cosmos is going to be the next character. Ryu Hayabusa is going to be the next character. Violet's going to be the next character. You post like 60 predictions, and then you just delete 59 of them once Violet gets revealed. And then you start following people, and it's like, oh, wow, this guy totally called Violet a month ago. It's like, no, he just called 60 people. That seems to be what happened with Mandycan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So people were able to look at their Twitter and see how many, I forget the exact thing what it's called, but basically it looked like it was basically found out they definitely deleted a lot of tweets. Whether or not those tweets had characters or not, we don't know, but they definitely deleted like hundreds of tweets or something. So the only other person where Crash was coming from was the person who had that Mii costume list that had like Gomon and Rocket Grunts on it. They were saying that Crash was probably in, not necessarily as the next fighter, but like they're thinking Crash is in. But the thing with them is they're only right about 50% of the time. Sometimes they have very legitimately like unguessable information. Other times, I feel like they end up telling me just stuff that they've heard more as a rumor, but they kind of don't filter all of it. So some of the very real stuff comes through, and some of the just rumors they're hearing comes through, and it's kind of like 50-50. They definitely do get real information. They definitely have real connections, but I don't know how hard I can back Crash coming from them. So I think Crash still has a really good shot, but do I think Crash is the next fighter? Just as likely as any other character right now, in my opinion.
Was the rumor / leak about Byleth and Ryu Hayabusa being swapped with each other still like a valid
No, that one fell apart too. That one was coming from 5chan, which is like the Japanese 4chan basically.
Mm-hmm.
And that one said that Fighter Pass 3 was getting worked on, and Sakurai has come out and said that they're only focusing on Fighter Pass 2 and no further Smash games or further DLC is on their radar at
least
this
that
time.
we know of.
That we know of, yeah. I mean, maybe he was lying there, but if I take Sakurai's word that they are literally just working on Fighter Pass 2, then not saying that we can't get another Fighter Pass after this, not saying something might happen. And Sakurai wasn't saying nothing will happen after this. Just he was saying that that's all they're focusing on right now. And if that's true, then the 5chan leak's wrong, because the 5chan leak basically said that they they knew everything that was going to be in Fighter Pass 2 and were already working towards a third one. So that seems to be fake. It is possible that Byleth was swapped out, or Ryu Hayabusa is still coming and maybe was supposed to come earlier or something. All that's still possible, but the leak about it is likely fake if you take Sakurai's word as fact.
Well, should we?
Yeah, I don't know.
I never know with Sakurai, man.
It seems we've been getting. I kind of follow that. If we get spirits as DLC, we're probably not going to get them as a character.
I agree.
So
I agree with that.
So it seems we've been getting some potential deconfirmations.
Yep.
Yeah, we had Ring Fit, I think, got a spirit recently. So Ring Fit. Resident Evil.
I know, that's sad.
A sad one, yeah. I mean, I definitely think a spirit character can get upgraded in the second Fighter's Pass, because I just feel like the second Fighter's Pass was chosen after they already chose the spirits, so the planning stage just works out. But any spirits that are happening as DLC feels like they would have just saved it for when the character gets revealed. So probably not happening.
I'm just hoping and waiting to see that we do not have a Shantae in the Seven Siren Spirit event, because if that happens, I think Shantae's just done.
Yeah, that would.
And I hate it, but that's I don't think that'll happen. It's gonna be like Byleth. If nothing happens with Seven Sirens, we're like, okay, something's up. So we need to keep our eyes out. So
how would you feel if we got a Kingdom Hearts Spirit event?
I honestly do not think Disney would do that.
I would be shocked if they got Kingdom Hearts that far. Like, if they got Kingdom Hearts into Smash and didn't give us playable Sora, I would be absolutely shocked. I don't see that guy doing that.
I would be like, whoa, wait, that means Sora's not playable. No! I'd be so heartbroken.
I just can't imagine going out of his way to get, like, I feel like there's like obstacles preventing or making it difficult to get Kingdom Hearts in Smash, and if he got over those obstacles and got Kingdom Hearts in Smash, there's like no way he'd do it just for spirits.
Would you rather them get really far and then say no in the end if they can't get a character?
I mean, honestly, I don't want to sound cynical here, but if we got playable Sora, or if we didn't get Sora as a playable character, or we got a Kingdom Hearts Spirit event, to me it's the same. It's like a wash either way. Like it's either Sora's in, or I don't care that much about Spirit events. It's neat to have things represented in Smash, but for something as big as Kingdom Hearts and the whole pushing for Sora to get in Smash and stuff, just getting a Spirit event would be the same as nothing.
To be honest.
Yeah.
It really would be. And
that's what it felt like.
I've seen people make the argument, well, Sora would work as a Mii costume. I'm thinking, boy,
no.
You think Disney would let him be some daggone skin for a Mii fighter? Oh, no. No, they want to make bank.
I'm a huge Geno supporter, but even I will acknowledge that Sora does not work as like a Mii costume, whereas Geno could work as a Mii costume. Like, you could get playable Sora with a deluxe Geno Mii costume, and that would be like acceptable. Like, it would work.
That also gives me hope for Shantae, because she'd be a terrible Mii fighter costume. I'm hoping that. Yeah. Like even Master Chief would work as a gunner, but I just don't think there's certain characters that just do not fit. Like, I feel like even Crash could work and just use like the big oversized suit where he's like, yeah, plumber boy. I mean, they could use that, but then again, it's like that just. Why would you do that when he's such a highly requested character to start with?
Yeah.
So I mean, it would seem like such a slap in the face if they did that. So I think Crash has a decent chance still, like you said, and I feel like the first character to start the Fighters Pass off, just like with Joker, Nintendo needs to be like, okay, this is going to be the first person that's really going to sell the Fighters Pass. We need someone hype, surprising, mind-blowing, and I feel like Joker did a really good job of doing that because literally no one saw him coming. And I just think that he was a great way to start it off because it's like, wow, Joker's in Smash. Anything's possible. So, right. And of course, we got Banjo and Kazooie, and that was huge. And I feel like after Banjo, it was just kind of like, oh, okay.
Joker was definitely like such a good starter choice because, like you said, no one was really expecting it. It opened up the door for really feeling like anybody could be in this pass. It wasn't a disappointing character, but also not like the most hype character. So it was still like, you know, hiding things. Like fresh. I feel like Hero and Banjo were more hype. But yeah, it definitely opened up that. So I feel like the first fighter in this Fighters Pass, unless we have to wait all the way until E3. If we have to wait all the way until E3, then it's probably going to have to be somebody like Crash, Master Chief, Sora, you know, somebody big. But if we get somebody revealed before that, I'm guessing somebody Joker-like, where it's like unexpected, but still really hype.
Yeah. Well, if we have to wait till E3.
No more E3.
Yeah, if we have to wait until the Nintendo Direct for like the E3 week, I can't help but think it would be either, like you said, Master Chief, Sora, Crash, maybe someone like Lara Croft or someone big. Like it would have to be a huge gaming icon to push them. Just like Ridley was at E3 2018 and Banjo and Kazooie and Hero were at 2019, we got to have someone that would break the internet. I feel like Sora and Chief would do that better than any character. But of course, Lara Croft and Crash would too, because Lara is like just the queen of female characters in gaming pretty much. And Crash was the mascot of the PlayStation, and to have him, Sonic, and Mario in the same game would be utterly just amazing. And so I think all four of those definitely have the best chance, at least for the first slot. I've seen Lara Croft getting a lot of love lately. She's in like Brawlhalla and Rainbow Six Siege and all kinds of stuff now. That's crazy.
Yeah. And there's still a word on the Mallow and the demon thing costume.
Yeah, that one's still just kind of floating. I mean, we have some hits against Doom Guy from who is it? Marty Stratton, is that his name? Somebody from idsoft basically said in an interview that Nintendo has never approached them about putting Doom Guy in Smash. But, of course, sometimes people just deflect. Sometimes people just lie. So I don't know for sure. But yeah, Echo Mallow
maybe the talks resulted... Mika, exactly what I was thinking. Just like with Ubisoft, we still don't have a Ubisoft character, but we've got Ubisoft costumes. So maybe Bethesda's getting a Doom Guy or Dovahkiin costume and a Kako Demon hat. That could be what happened.
Yeah, that's very possible. I mean,
because I feel like Doom Guy would make a good costume.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally possible something like that happened. But basically, Kako Mallow, we're just gonna have to sit and wait on it until either it's confirmed or the whole pass is done. I feel like because it's just one of those things. Or if somebody comes out and really shows like, hey, I faked it. Here's a new video of the exact same thing. But
if it's a fake, it's a darn good fake.
It's a really good fake.
I honestly buy it right now. I really do. I feel like Geno has a really good chance.
I think it has more of a chance to be real than fake. I'm not saying it's definitely real. I'm just saying I think, if I had to like 50-50 it, it's like, that I'd say it's more likely real than fake.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. I feel like even with if Doom Guy got the costume treatment, the Kako Demon, it's like, okay, they wouldn't add the Kako Demon if Doom Guy was if there was no Doom Guy costume. There'd have to be two Doom reps, and that case, like, here's the guy and here's one of the demons he fights. Where with Geno, I mean, I don't know. That kind of shot my argument down, because then Geno could be a Mii costume and Mallow could be the hat.
That's possible. So I can see with the deluxe Mii costumes that they've been doing, like Cuphead and Sans and stuff. Yeah. I could see Geno getting that. I wouldn't be mad at that if they give him a really good render and everything. But we'll just have to wait and see what happens here. I'm open to anything.
Speaking of that, they're not the only decent Mii costumes. I think the Skull Kid one is really good, but no one ever talks about that.
Yeah. That's true. That's a good one.
It just the Skull Kid doesn't really fit any of the fighters' play style.
That's
That's
true.
the thing.
Yeah, that's
so
a
you
big
don't
part
really
of it,
feel like
too.
you're playing as Skull Kid. You feel
Yeah,
like you're just playing as
that's
someone
true.
dressed up as Skull Kid. Whereas with Sans, that's such a stroke of genius, by the way, that he uses the Gaster Blaster. That is so
Yep.
smart. And then Cuphead, his moveset is literally just like it is in Cuphead. He's
Run
got
around
the blast,
and
he's got the bombs, he's got all kinds of stuff, and it's just like, wow, it looks a lot like the actual Cuphead moveset. So
Yeah, I think they've got a good thing going on with.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but those like cartoony characters that fit me costumes, but also who would fit a specific class, like those two specifically fit Gunner. But I feel like they should have at least one for each. For each thing, and I think that Minecraft Steve fits perfectly for a me sword fighter because
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Minecraft Steve fits
cartoony
really good.
character like that.
I think Hollow Knight fits really well for Sword
Yeah.
Fighter too. There's quite a few they could do that I think just body type wise and stuff would fit pretty good. Also, Steve, technically Minecraft was an indie game initially, and Hollow Knight's an indie game, Cuphead's an indie game, Undertale's an indie game. So I don't know if they're going to keep them all indie game characters, but it's very possible they could. Quote would make a decent Gunner.
I mean, Cuphead is now Microsoft, right? And so is Minecraft. So I can see them easily getting Steve as a me sword fighter.
Yeah, I could see. I really think, honestly, maybe the most likely thing for E3 is playable Master Chief with Steve as the costume. That just, for whatever reason, that keeps sticking out in my head.
Yeah, but it doesn't have to
building
be.
up to.
It doesn't have to be a Microsoft character to get that.
True. Yeah, we got Cuphead with Byleth, so.
Yeah.
Dude, if Chief gets in, I'm gonna cry. Oh man, I'm telling you. Of course, I want Shantae and Sora. Those are my two big ones. But Chief is like the pipiest of pipe dreams. Man, after Banjo, it feels like it could happen. And I'm obviously I can live without him. Like I said, the other two are the ones I really, really, really want. But Chief would be such a what pick that he is definitely my pipe dream pick. Because
Shovel Knight was. Oh no.
Shovel Knight's already he's an assist trophy though. I mean, not that assist trophies, not that they're like out of the running, but I definitely think it's a little less likely that somebody who's an assist trophy will get upgraded to something.
Yeah.
My thoughts on the assist
continue.
trophies. My thoughts on the assist trophies. If anybody gets in, it's going to be Waluigi.
Yeah.
Because then if you pick anybody else, well, why'd you pick Isaac over Skull Kid? Why'd you pick Crystal over Shadow? Why'd you pick Shovel Knight over anybody else? And I mean, so I feel like everybody's like, okay, Waluigi is like one of the most popular Nintendo characters for Smash. Period. And so I feel like if anybody gets the boot up, it's him. So.
Would he just use items? Would he be like the Mario Sports representative?
I definitely think he'd be a Mario. He'd be the proper Mario spin-offs rep that Daisy is not as an Echo.
Well, he would definitely use the racket.
He has Party. He has Kart. He's got the sports games. He's got so much to pull from, and plus he's just a goofy, creepy, lanky man anyway. So he could definitely have some fun, goofy moves, just like Wario. I see like a skinny, fast Wario, but more like spin-off moveset, because Wario references so many of his WarioWare moves and attacks and stuff, while also having stuff that's unique to Smash. I feel like they really do that with Waluigi. I don't know if he'd be swimming through air and stuff like that, like the mods do, but I feel like he could have a really fun, unique moveset. So I'd be totally cool with Waluigi. I feel like he'd either be he may be an E3 pick. I don't know. But I feel like he may close out the Fighters Pass.
That's what I was going to say. Waluigi, I don't know if he's this E3. I don't know if he could start the pass, but I could totally see him finishing the pass. I could definitely see him being the ending character.
Dude, the internet would just be like, half the internet would be like, yeah, Waluigi. The other half would be, no, Waluigi. It'd be more torn than Hero, man. I'm telling you. And Byleth, of course. Byleth was just utter chaos.
I don't see anything beating Byleth just because of how much the sentiments against doing that exact scenario have been expressed for years at this point. So
I agree. My least favorite character overall in the Fighters Pass is Terry, just because I'm not good with the inputs, just like Ryu and Ken. And he just he's okay, but I really do like Byleth's moveset. I just hate all of the drama and just the ill will surrounding him and her. That's the only thing. I love the moveset. I just don't like all the stuff and the fact that it's another Fire Emblem character. So
I do like the character.
Yeah, they definitely have a good moveset.
I got nothing against the way they implemented Byleth and stuff. Is actually like probably the best way to implement a Fire Emblem character so far, having all the different weapons and stuff.
Yeah.
I just think like at this point it's like 8 tries at this point.
A little
like
too late.
Yeah, it's 8 tries, and we're on the DLC, and there's so many characters people really want, and
there's a lot at stake. Yeah.
Yeah, when you're on the DLC, obviously you're getting down to the end, and passions are high with characters and series that can get represented, and it's just like, there's not time or room to just rep Fire Emblem again. Like,
they have a budget with their DLC, and like they fell short of it, and it was like, I guess we got to use Byleth.
That's one theory, and that very well may be what was going on. I don't know.
Yeah. Microsoft wanted too much for Banjo's like, well, I guess we got to put more Fire Emblem in there. Sakura's just like, I am okay with this.
And they really built it up too, even during the presentation before Byleth. It's like, oh, nobody knows about this. I'm like, oh my god, who is it?
Who would want to know about it? I mean, just
I hate to like be cynical about it here, but honestly, part of me thinks that like, because there's so many first-party Nintendo characters. Obviously, we're talking about Waluigi, but like, there's so many first-party Nintendo characters they could have added. Waddle Dee, Dixie Kong, that people would have been happy with. But to choose Byleth or Rex even, who they apparently was too late, even though timing-wise it's like the same as Byleth. But so part of me, not to be too cynical, thinks that maybe Nintendo was literally like, okay, well, what's going to get us a bunch of headlines? What's going to make the most waves? And there's 2 ways to do that. There's like all publicity is good publicity. So like, Banjo makes the internet explode because he's so great, but you do exactly what the fans don't want you to do by adding another Fire Emblem character, and boom, you get those headlines. You get people talking about Smash. You get people talking about Smash DLC. So
get people trying out Fire Emblem Three Houses.
So, yeah, there were people who wanted Byleth.
I could see Nintendo being a little nefarious here and choosing Byleth just for all the, can you believe Nintendo chose Fire Emblem again? Fans are angry that Nintendo, the worst character, like, all that stuff. It gets people talking more so than like Waddle Dee, where people would just be like, oh, sweet, Waddle Dee's in, and then a week later nobody's saying anything.
That is a good point, and they are a business at the end of the day. They're there to make money. It's just I wish they would make. I mean, of course, this is all hypothetical, but it's like if they did that, you'd think they'd want to make money through goodwill and treating the customer fairly, and not just be like, let's tick you off just so we can get a headline and more money.
Right. It's a total, like I said, I don't want to be too cynical. It's total conspiracy theory.
Oh, yeah.
Thinking here. I'm not saying that's what I think. I'm just saying part of me has thought that, has gone down that path and been like, yeah, it kind of makes sense, maybe, if that's where the train of thought was.
Mm-hmm.
Now, since we're talking about first party, well, I guess it's kind of a second party. We're gonna get a Pokemon rep. I think we can all say that.
Think so?
Yeah, probably.
I really do. Who do you guys think it will be? Because I have a couple picks.
If I could choose, I'd probably choose Rillaboom.
Yeah.
Just because I really like the idea of completing the Greninja, Incineroar, Rillaboom, Final Evolution starters for the newer Pokemon games. I feel like that just fits good.
I don't think we'd get that. We'd probably get what's ever newest, like the mythical monkey thing right now.
Zarude,
Zarude,
I'm not like huge on Rillaboom or anything though, so I'd actually probably at the end of the day like one of the other Pokemon. But I just if it was up to me, I'd choose that just because I like the roster feeling complete, and I feel like that's a good way to make the roster feel complete.
And I think Rillaboom could have a really cool moveset. I just feel like if we wanted a rhythm-based moveset, someone like Karate Joe would be a more fitting pick for that. Because Pokemon isn't about rhythm, it's about attacking. And I feel like Rillaboom having a completely... I mean, because Lucario uses Aura. It makes sense with him. Greninja acts like a ninja. It makes sense with him. Incineroar acts just like a wrestler. It makes sense with him. Mewtwo's all floaty and huge and stuff, but is super lightweight. Again, it makes sense. I feel like Rillaboom, I don't know, especially because he's so big and bulky and he's so tied to his drum. I don't know how that would work. I've seen people mention Cinderace, and that would work, but we already have 2 fully evolved fire types.
Right, I wouldn't want Cinderace, even though I chose Scorbunny. I'd rather have a different typing. Grass type Final Evolution, I think, would be cooler. But maybe Zarude kind of fills that anyway.
Yeah, Zarude would be cool, and it'd be the first mythical that you could play as. That'd be cool. And I feel like Urshifu stands a good chance. Surfetch, because Sword Fighter, But I would love to see Toxtricity too,
Yes.
because this Pokemon is the new Lucario, man.
Yes.
It has taken off in popularity, and it brings two. I mean, of course, it's got electricity, but it's also got poison now, and we've really only seen that with Piranha Plant. So that would be a really cool moveset.
You would have electricity, poison, and it sort of does also have, like, 'cause it has the guitar thing and stuff.
Yeah.
So like, it have a bit of a rhythm
It
moveset
can be
too.
rhythm, yeah, and it's
Also,
like,
it's
it has so much personality too.
its release as a character with its Final Smash being its Dynamax form can coincide with the release of the Dynamax.
Yeah, that would work
Toxtricity in
perfect.
the game.
Yeah. So I think that would be great. Like me personally, like who would I want to play as in Smash? Toxtricity is like one of the top tier choices. But I don't know. Rillaboom's kind of my just to complete the roster choice. But Toxtricity is probably a Pokemon that I might actually pick up and want to play. Like Rillaboom gets on the roster, I'm probably not going to play it that much. I would just like it to be there, but Toxtricity, I might actually pick
is
up.
definitely more of the fun Pokemon pick because they do have so much personality. I mean, they're just like this. It's almost like how Incineroar is like the big bad heel wrestler. This one's just like the devil may care punk rock guy that's like, yeah, man, let's rock out, bro. And it's just like he can have so much fun with his moveset and stuff. And like he misses an attack, he's like, whoa, and so just not obviously like making dude bro sounds, but he's just like, and stuff like that. Just I feel
He
like
could have that personality to him.
Oh yeah.
And I feel like
Surfetch could be cool, but
yeah, I don't know if they do. I don't know if they do that though.
Yeah,
I can see it, but I don't know if they do it.
I mean, it'd be just it'd be just a short sword fighter, kind of like
like
Meta Knight, but with Corrin's Lance, pretty much.
Yeah.
So. More like a Pokeball Pokemon. Maybe they'll add in some more Pokeball Pokemon with whoever the choice is. That would be cool if they did that.
You think you'd have to pay for it, or it would be a free update?
I think
more Pokeball Pokemon.
I mean, they added home run contests for free and stuff like that. So
it might just be something
they charge that. And the Spirit events are free. So.
Well, we did have a Sword and Shield Spirit event, so does that mean we're not going to get a... Does that deconfirm a Pokemon character?
I don't know. They had very select Pokemon because they had all three starters together. None of the final forms where you could like upgrade them to level 99 and then level them up to level 99 and then upgrade them. So that could happen where you have the three starters, you have Toxtricity, you have Surfetch, you have some like that. They already had Zacian and Zamazenta, that's right. But you can have more of the other new Pokemon, along with some maybe older Pokemon that got left out that were in these games. So, very good point, but...
If our Pokemon rep reps the Pokemon Sword and Shield DLC too, like obviously there's more they can do with that, like as far as the Spirit event goes.
Very true. Yeah, like Urshifu and Calyrex and Zarude again. So yeah.
I mean, what do you think?
Of course, all the music from Gen 8 too. That's a big thing.
Yeah.
Do you think any
and bringing back Pokefloats?
Do you think any specific characters themselves are like a lock for this Fighter Pass?
Honestly, if I had to bet money on any character, I would say Rayman. Because I feel like Ubisoft getting 2 costumes, it's like, where's Rayman? I know he's a spirit already. I know that, but we've already talked about we don't think spirits from the pre-game release are deconfirmed. And I want to say Shantae, but I don't want to get my hopes up like last time. But I feel like Rayman, Crash are probably 2 of the ones I would be willing to put money on, because Crash would be just such a hype pick, just a huge pick. And of course, characters like Sora would be great, but then there's Disney you have to go through. Master Chief would be great, but it's Master Chief. Lara Croft would be cool, but I mean, would Square Enix play ball? And that's another Square Enix
Square Enix owns Lara Croft?
They own Lara Croft, yeah. It's her toughest thing is that she's owned by...
They were bought out.
Which already has so much competition between which characters that people want for Smash.
I think after the latest Tomb Raider series, she was bought out, because prior to that, it was another company, I think out of the UK. So
yeah, she was not owned by Square for most of her... I don't know what to call it, or lifespan. I don't know what to call it. But yeah, Lara Croft was only recently owned by Square, but she is owned by Square.
Do you think we'll see more new characters or more old characters?
I
The only thing that I think, as far as like putting money on it for, that I think is probably going to happen, that I feel confident in, is a Namco rep of some kind.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I don't know who, but with the Lloyd costume not back, the Heihachi costume not back, Namco working on Smash, only Pac-Man in as a Namco rep, like, it just feels so overdue to get another Namco character.
Absolutely.
I don't know who it is, but that's the only one I think is kind of a lock for this pass.
I think it's between Heihachi, Lloyd, and maybe Agumon, because everybody wants the Pokemon Digimon matchup. So,
Yeah,
I mean, and Digimon's
possible.
pretty big. It's what, they're like 4th biggest franchise under the Namco umbrella. I'm pretty sure I read that somewhere. But, of course,
Probably.
Tekken's
Sounds
huge.
about right.
And they're rebooting the first season of it too, I think.
Yeah, they are.
Ooh, yeah. And of course, Lloyd, like you said, is still absent. Scott Minville was on Twitter talking about, hey guys, I'm working on something I can't tell you. But again, last time that happened, it was Christina V, and it wasn't Smash. And other voice actors have done that, and it wasn't Smash. So I feel like Lloyd, of all three of those, is probably the most likely because, again, another sword fighter, but he is a dual wielder, and he is a pretty popular Namco pick, I would say.
And Tales of is huge in Japan. It's like really big, and to get the Shin Megami Tensei Persona series, Dragon Quest, and then Tales of all in Smash would be really big.
And Final Fantasy.
Japan. And Final Fantasy all in one game would be really big for Japan. So I don't
just need Kingdom
underestimate
Hearts.
that.
But
I mean, there are clear characters who should be in, but it's not that easy.
I definitely think of any character that people are wanting, besides obviously Waluigi. I think Sora, at this point, if Nintendo has not at least considered him, they're crazy because they make so much bank, and Disney would make so much money. And it's just like so many people want him. There are obviously people who do not want him for various reasons, but man, just the outpouring of support for Sora. It's honestly, as a Sora fan, it is heartwarming to see because it's like, oh cool, I'm not the only one who likes this dweeby guy. But
we only get 2 songs.
I would hope not, man. There is so much good music in Kingdom Hearts. I feel like with Disney being in between Square and Nintendo in this, I feel like Disney would probably give more music than Square.
Well, I'm
and
wondering
plus the
who owns
composer
the music.
is already associated with Smash, so I mean that might be a little optimistic, but I do think Disney would help get some more music in there because there's so much good music in Kingdom Hearts, man.
There is.
But yeah.
Even like I don't know if it was a remix but the original Simple and Clean, like maybe a remix of it. If not, just I'm trying to think of like a fighting version of it, like would be amazing.
Especially the one from the opening of Kingdom Hearts, like the original Kingdom Hearts, would be plenty great because it's just like when you walk away. It's like super upbeat and peppy and
I think that's the one I'm thinking.
Hard hitting. I feel like that'd be a really good pick. And plenty of the Heartless battle themes and stuff. There's just so much to pull from, man. But yeah, and of course Shantae would obviously be a great pick. Music, moveset, all that jazz. Got to mention her. So.
Burning Town.
Yes.
Through the Danger.
Like the 15th remix, but hey, it'd be so cool.
Dance Through the Danger has to be like the reveal trailer song.
Yes, I agree. And that's the thing we still don't know about. I mean, Gino, I still think. I mean, and again, this could be because of the costume, but the fact that there was 2 songs taken down on YouTube, not just one.
Yeah, it was.
I mean,
really
Megalovania was the one taken down for YouTube. From Nintendo, but the fact they took 2 down, it's like,
Is that
what was taken down first?
Full-fledged playable character?
I think it points to him. I mean, like you said, costume would make sense.
Though?
I think it was Beware. No,
It was Beware the Forest Mushrooms and Fight Against an Armed Boss. I think were the 2. So it's like the boss battle theme, the like typical boss battle theme, and the Beware the Forest Mushrooms theme, which is basically Gino's theme, I guess.
Yeah, where
it's
you
basically 2 Mario RPG songs, which goes in line with the Square DLC characters.
Right.
Yep.
Goes against the Mii character, which we only get 1. So.
And Gino is one of like the big 4 people wanted besides K. Rool, Ridley, and Banjo. So I feel like.
But how long ago did they take the songs down?
It's been
It
about
was a
year.
while ago.
I think it's been about a year.
Yeah, I want to say it was like in the spring-ish or something.
So if
last
we
year.
if we do get Geno, then it's like they planned this.
Oh
like,
yeah.
At what point towards the end of the first pass do they decide? Well, actually, they
They
did
said
say
something
that
about pretty early on, I think, in the first pass that they decided to do the second pass when they were, negotiating for characters for that pass. I don't know, but I think it fits.
Sakurai did say that he initially was only going to put in like 1 or 2 more characters, so Geno could have been one of those.
Yeah, it's very possible. It's also like we don't know like when they're going to decide to roll out these characters. So even if, let's say, they decided Geno was going to get in like last spring, they may also be like, well, we're gonna this E3 we're gonna put this character in, and then next E3 we'll do Geno. And even though Geno was decided a while ago, it's like we gotta have something big to reveal then. So
that was kind of like the Banjo-Kazooie thing too.
Because isn't it confirmed that they actually met at the E3 prior, at E3 2018 with Microsoft to discuss Banjo?
Yeah, and that was something that we had been. Yeah, that was something that me and the person that told me Banjo way back during like the Grinch leak had like discussed and talked about how that would make sense for when that meeting probably happened, and then we found out it did happen. So yeah.
Well, all right. Well, I can't wait to see what we get.
Yeah.
And I hope it's not disappointing.
We'll probably get Tom Nook to advertise Animal Crossing New Horizons, and his final smash is throwing everybody in debt. So
yes.
Let's put it this way: with 6 more characters at least, I can't imagine coming out of this pass without at least one character. I'm going to be like, yeah, I'm really, really like hyped that character happened.
I'm really feeling it.
Yeah,
I'm really feeling that character.
I feel that same way. If I get at least Shantae or Sora or Master Chief, I'm like, I miss the other 2, but at least I did get one of them. And of course, Banjo was definitely the highlight of the first Fighters Pass to me.
Even though you didn't
still
play
have not
Banjo,
played any. I still say haven't played any of the games, but I love their personality.
I don't understand.
Their moveset's so much fun.
At what point were you excited for Banjo-Kazooie?
When I saw the Jiggy bounce across the screen.
Oh, so you were actually.
But actually, no. When I saw the leak, that was like Banjo's in, and it was pretty much confirmed. And I was just like, that's kind of. I mean, I would love this, but I don't know. It's still a leak. And then that Jiggy bounced across. I was like, oh my gosh, it happened. It just. And then once I saw them in action, I actually got to play as them and saw the personality they put to them. I was like, oh yeah, they're my favorite. I love them. And that's like, I am so much more akin to liking the goofy, cartoony characters over the like gritty, like I'm gonna beat you up characters like Ken, Cloud, and all those guys. I much prefer the Warios and the Yoshis and the Donkey Kongs and the Incineroars and stuff, where they have lots of personality and they're very expressive. And that's one reason I love Banjo and Kazooie so much. Is I mean, he's just smiling the whole time, man. I love it. But that's why I'm hoping for like Shantae and Sora, because they're two of. I just think of them like Sora, especially, is just a big old goofball, and Shantae is just all over the place with her personality. So I'm just, and of course, like, it's funny because then Master Chief is like super stoked. He's like, I'm gonna kill everything in sight. It's just like, but look cool doing it. And then he's like super silent and super like stoic and big and bad. And then it's just like the other 2 characters are like, I'm a goofy teenager and I'm an adorable little half gene. And then he's just like, I'm a super soldier who kills aliens for a living. It's like, okay, cool deal, but yeah, I just think it's funny how my first 2 are like super cartoony, and then my third pick is like super hardcore mature man. So I don't.
Super hardcore
I love
mature man.
I like that juxtaposition though that Smash has between like really gritty stuff and really cartoony. Like I like that there's both in there. Though I agree with you, I definitely lean more towards liking the cartoony characters, that sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel like
that's
we don't
one
get
reason
as
I'm
many
such a
of them.
supporter for Rayman, because he's a big old goofball, and don't have much experience with Rayman besides the first Raven Rabbids game, but he's just such a fun pick, and he's another popular pick. So yeah,
My experience was Rayman 2: The Great Escape, and that was so much fun. The one on N64, I feel like, was the best one.
Okay.
Because then
I'm
they
not
put
a
it
fan
on.
of his design, like from the first few games. It just, I'm not a fan of that design. It just looks so. He looks like a totally different character. I much prefer the more like dog-like face now. I don't know what he is, like whatever he is. He looks more like a dog thing.
I don't know what he is. I guess he's a Rayman.
Just a thingamajig, yeah.
It's just a Rayman. Well, I guess that's pretty much it for today. Will anybody want to say anything else?
I think that's pretty much everything I had in my head here.
Yeah.
I just apologize for taking up half the thing ranting about Pokemon Sword and Shield.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I
kind
just
of wanted to, I think.
I mean, it's been repressed for so long, and I just need to do the video about it so I don't dump it on y'all.
You never will.
You're probably right. So,
You have no motivation to play the game. Why should you have motivation to complain about the game?
this is true.
Wow.
Well, I guess if you want to release steam about how much you're disappointed. Anyway, so I guess that's it. And I mentioned earlier that E3 was canceled, so I guess everybody stay safe with the coronavirus going around. And
Wash your hands. Wash your hands, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen.
wash your hands.
And hopefully E3 will still, I imagine all the
I think
online
it'll
stuff will still happen. Like the releases, the announcements will probably still happen. So
Oh, yeah.
I think it really only affects if you were going to the event, So
Yeah, I think if companies had plans to show trailers and stuff, they're gonna just release them on YouTube or whatever.
yeah, most likely.
But yeah, in the description is gonna be links to where you can see us all, Alpha and Papa and me, and I guess that's it. So goodbye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
I don't know what he is, like whatever he is. He looks
I
more
don't
like
know.
a dog thing.
I don't know what he is. I guess he's a Rayman.
Just a thingamajig, yeah.
He's just a Rayman.